Welcome to Extending Penn State. I'm David Price. During this program, we will explore some of the interesting and innovative work of Penn State Cooperative Extension. So, what is Cooperative Extension? Well, Cooperative Extension was created around the turn of the 20th century to extend knowledge and reach out to people. It works like this. Each state has a cooperative extension service associated with at least one land-grant institution, often a university like Penn State. Cooperative Extension representatives extend educational services to the community and share the most up-to-date research findings. Originally, this was designed to help farmers who were unable to attend classes, but now, Cooperative Extension touches virtually every aspect of our lives. In Philadelphia, Cooperative Extension is still working with farmers in the heart of the cityscape, specifically at Weaver's Way Farm. At Weaver's Way, local foods are grown in the city and supply farmers markets in Philadelphia. Not only does this positively affect consumers in an urban area, but it also opens opportunities for Penn State students through internships.
Over the last 15 years since I've been involved in the local foods in Philadelphia, I've seen it grow from just one farmer's market to now 30, and many, many businesses and institutions, nonprofit groups get involved in this rising tide of demand for local food. Weaver's Way Farm is one of several examples in Philadelphia. There are many areas on vacant land in Philadelphia that could be turned into small farms. We're growing specialty crops, growing for farmers markets, growing for corner stores. Our hope with extension involvement is to grow this movement in local farming to something that's much bigger than it is now.
Well, the actual leaf of leeks, like some people might just cut it off and throw it away.
We've brought Candace, who's a student at Penn State. She's interning with the Cooperative Extension Service, but as part of that internship, she's working at Weaver's Way Farm.
My name is Candace Moore. I'm a junior at Penn State University, University Park, and my major is agriculture and extension education. I've always had a passion for agriculture. One day I got an email about an internship in Philadelphia, and I saw it, read it, and I knew it was for me. When I started working here at the actual farm, I knew much of nothing about the actual vegetables that was growing here. I didn't know what kohlrabi was or bok choy or any of that stuff. After I spent a couple of weeks here, I started learning more about it. I learned how it grew, what it tastes like. I actually made it a goal of mine to try everything on the farm here at least once.
That is so good.
But I feel so amazing about what I've done in the day because I know when it's all said and done, I positively affected somebody's life.
The goal of the farm is to prove that you can have a successful urban farm, a financially viable operation on a small area in Philadelphia.
The farmers markets provide a wonderful opportunity for farmers to sell directly to the customers.
Well, I have to get my trade to go out.
The customers get to know the farmers personally. They can ask them any questions they want to about how they grow their products. They share recipes, and it's been a gateway opening to local food. It's the face-to-face agriculture, and it's a great opportunity. Farm to City had the idea for the City Hall Farmers Market many years ago. Because this is such a magnificent setting for a farmer's market, we thought that the city workers and all the office workers around here would really appreciate having a weekly source of fresh food from local farms. The potential in Philadelphia is great. There's many things that could be planted on this land. Philadelphia is one of the cities in a leadership position to show what can be done.
Cooperative Extension plays a vital role in connecting the farms to the markets and supporting the farmers, whether it be in an urban area or a rural area. We're hoping to build a high tunnel out here and getting the expertise of Penn State. It'll be an asset to us as well as to Penn State educators for bringing kids out here and just really showing what can be done agriculturally in an urban setting.
Growing things in an urban environment such as Philadelphia is very, very important because it gives people a sense of knowledge that they need. You can actually grow something right here in your backyard.
From local foods and farmers markets to the regreening of vacant lots, let's travel west to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Over the last 4 decades, Pittsburgh has been stricken by economic hardships, and those challenges have left behind neighborhoods blighted with vacant lots. Let's find out how Penn State Cooperative Extension is making an impact to help regreen vacant lots in parts of the Steel City.
Pittsburgh is known as the Steel City. For generations, we were the steel manufacturing center of the world. In the late 70s and very early 80s, the collapse of the steel industry caused us to lose somewhere in the neighborhood of 120,000 jobs, and that had a significant rippling effect throughout the community. We've been losing population as a city core, as many other urban areas have been. There was a study done by some grad students from Carnegie Mellon University. They've identified in excess of 14,500 vacant lots just in the city of Pittsburgh. Working with the City of Pittsburgh Mayor's Office and the Urban Redevelopment Authority Cooperative Extension here started looking at different strategies for helping these communities deal with this abundance of vacant lots. One of the communities we've been working with is an area called Larimer. It is one of those communities that has now lost about 85% of its population. In the Larimer area, we have about 3 or 4 lots that are the basic vacant lot concept. We went in, worked with the community, identified some plantings, cleaned the lots out, planted the grass into different planting materials. There is a core group of volunteers there and community members who are incredibly committed to trying to turn that around.
I've been here most of my life. I was born right around the corner on Carver Street, which is only a few blocks from here. And over the years, there went through a lot down here. Now, with Penn State and a lot of community support, everything's starting to change. Even the grass is getting greener down here.
We began right in this very spot with the Office of the Mayor, Operation Weed and Seed Project, with Penn State. The plants that you see that we did here is a spinoff from last year, and it appeared like it could have been here for years. We began a relationship with Penn State. We continue today and hope to strengthen it for all of the community. Believe me, this couldn't happen without soil testing, conditioning the soil, cultivating and planting and working together. Regardless of whatever it's a plant, a vegetable, fruit, or an herb, as long as you share and receive some type of experience of doing it, you will feel good about it. And that make them feel good passing through, and they have something nice in their community. Llama Green Acres is a place you want to be.
Braddock is a municipality outside the city of Pittsburgh. They have the last steel mill that's in the area, and it's still functioning. However, that particular community, like Larimer, has lost about 85% of its population. So a couple of years ago, a new mayor was elected, and he had a vision for the rebirth of Braddock. And that's where we have established about a 3/4 acre urban farm where we grow a lot of different kinds of vegetables. Last November, we built a high tunnel, so that allows us to extend our growing season about 6 weeks. We're now producing vegetables. People in the community can come purchase produce from the farmers market. So Cooperative Extension is engaged in a lot of different things. We can provide the community with a significant amount of resources that allows them to address challenges they have. So in terms of public good, we feel that we have a significant impact here.
Well, Welcome back. Our next segment explores Penn State's Agriculture and Environment Center, a part of Penn State's College of Agricultural Sciences. The center works to bring together science, policy, and partnership through research and outreach on air and water quality issues. This story describes the relationship of nutrient imbalances in the waterways and the link to our food production system. We'll learn about the positive impacts of watersheds and the wetlands that buffer Pennsylvania's Susquehanna River and the downstream waters of the Chesapeake Bay.
Agriculture and environment are really a very delicate, intricate balance. You know, there are a lot of different variables that influence the health of any system. The agricultural practices that we conduct here have a direct impact on the health of the watershed. And so finding a way to balance the inputs of all the different aspects of these very, very complex systems is an exceptional challenge.
I think what's interesting in Pennsylvania is that there's really three main things we do with the landscape. One of those is natural land cover, so say forest, water resources, streams, and wetlands. We use land for agricultural activities, we use land for urban development. Those are our three main types of land use in Pennsylvania.
Changes in land use throughout much of the region have resulted in a lot of houses, roads, impervious surfaces of various sorts that change the entire runoff pattern. Pesticides are applied in suburbia as well as agricultural systems. Pet wastes are a source of nitrogen just as dairy cow and hog wastes are a source of nitrogen.
A lot of the discussion has centered around nitrogen. It comes from fertilizer on farm fields, comes from manure, comes from wastewater treatment plants, comes from people fertilizing their lawns. And we use a lot of nitrogen and we have very leaky systems, so we send a lot downstream.
The Susquehanna River Basin alone within that large watershed is 27,500 square miles. So there are a lot of farmers, there are a lot of sewage treatment plants that are going to need to take actions which all require money. It will take time.
Our real problem is that we just have an imbalance of nutrients. We end up accumulating nutrients in areas where animals are. And what we've got to do is figure out how to get the whole system back into a little better balance.
The air-water interface around animal ag it's always really integrated, and we've got to kind of keep track that what we're doing to improve the air doesn't end up going to the water, and what we're doing to improve the water doesn't end up going to the air.
When wetlands are in a position, say for example, between agriculture and a stream, they do quite a bit that's of value. They play a real role in, for example, absorbing nutrients or transforming nutrients. They have a large role in nitrogen cycling, in carbon storage. They retain sediment.
Many streams throughout Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Virginia are technically considered impaired. That means that their water quality is not of sufficient value to support all their uses. Pennsylvania has restored about 2,200 miles of forest buffers along streams. We've initiated with a lot of other partners a precision feeding program for dairy cows, which has a tremendous impact on nutrient levels on local farms.
A lot of our extension programs are designed to try to give farmers the information they need to improve the practices on the farm. We've been doing a lot of research and extension work in how do we integrate nutrient management and no-till crop production. They're both practices that have been shown to be beneficial, but yet there are some issues there where they conflict with each other.
I love to plow, and I knew it was wrong, but I still love to plow. Then I finally went to the proper training that it turned me around. And now that I can see that, I've been going no-till corn. Soil loss on no-till corn is 1 ton per year, which is nothing. And we're saving soil that way.
Many of the farmers that we talk to about conservation practices are more eager to implement those practices when they find out that they can save money on their own farms. Conservation practices do pay because it keeps the soil on the ground, it keeps the water clean, and in many cases it'll help them save money, especially on energy.
The Agriculture and Environment Center was established to help bridge some gaps that I think the college has recognized existed for quite some time. We've got all this amazing research that's taking place around environmental impacts that are associated with human disturbances, and certainly agriculture, like any other human activity, has environmental consequences.
There are issues with water quality that we need to keep front and center as we consider the critical balance of maintaining the natural resources here in Pennsylvania.
The research from Penn State is influencing the decisions and policies that really have an impact at all levels.
The solutions that we might derive for the portfolio of agricultural operations in Pennsylvania could actually be quite variable. It may not be one size fits all, but at the root of the problem, the science is the same. A nutrient moves through the environment with certain properties. And if our scientists can help to continue to understand that process, we can adapt that science to technologies that I think will have great benefit to the diverse array of producers that we have here in Pennsylvania.
Coming up next on Extending Penn State, we will look at a woody biomass project happening in the northern tier of Pennsylvania with the collaboration of Penn State Cooperative Extension. In the small community of Smethport, Pennsylvania, the focus is on economic revitalization, alternative energy, and the sustainable use of their natural resources. And the object of their focus is crooked trees. They've got a lot of them. Crooked trees translate into a sustainable natural resource that energy experts call woody biomass. See, if they can build a CHP, or a combined heat and power plant, these crooked trees become wood chips and ultimately energy.
I think Smethport's a great opportunity for demonstrating renewable energy. It's an area that's in need of some economic revitalization. It has a lot of underused natural resources. It has a motivated town that's created a vision.
Smethport is here because of the forests that wrap around it. From the very beginning, our jewel was our forest. And the thing that made Smethport click and work and grow was our usage of this natural resource. The CHP, the combined heat and power, really goes back to our roots. And so what we're doing here is to utilize our forest, but do it in such a way that we take care of the forest and make it sustainable. I want to tell you a little bit about how this project happened in Smethport. This delegation went to study woody biomass in Austria and how the renewable energy projects are working. While they were still in Austria, our local extension educator, Tim Pearson, called me 3 times and said, "Ross, you've got to hear about this. Smethport's perfect for this project." With the CHP plant, we will be utilizing our fuel and recycling our income and our money from this within the county and driving our local economy. That's what makes it so important.
When doing a project like this, the partnerships that are created need to be maintained. We now have a leadership team that actually includes 7 of that original team that went to Austria. All of us working together with the leaders in Smethport is really what's making this project move forward in a positive way.
One of the other things about this project that makes it really fit Smethport is that we happen to have an antiquated water system.
And so have you been working on the water system here in town?
Some of our pipes are still wooden. They're fragile, they've been breaking, and it's a massive project, estimated to be $20 million to replace our water system.
With the Smethport Woody Biomass Demonstration Project, there's an opportunity to put in the district heating system all at the same time with considerably less cost, probably 1/10 of the cost of doing it individually. This will be an opportunity through a combined heat and power facility fueled by woody biomass to actually produce all the heat and the electricity for the entire community, which has 850 individual residences, all of which will be able to get their heat and electricity produced locally to help them have some energy independence and some energy self-sufficiency for the future.
Once the project is complete and the CHP pipes are all laid out, the plant could heat the entire community. It's an opportunity that could give the people of Smethport the ability to create their own sustainable energy. Sustainable management, that's good for the environment. And when local energy dollars stay local, that's good for Smethport's economy. We hope you enjoyed our stories about Penn State Cooperative Extension. Extending the latest research and discoveries to citizens is a primary mission of the Pennsylvania State University and other land-grant institutions, one that continues to positively impact communities across the Commonwealth and across the nation. I'm David Price. Thanks for watching.